TV soap news and spoilers say that in the shadowy world of Beyond the Gates, where secrets fester like wounds and trust is a currency few can afford, the story of Doug, Marcel, Joey, and Vanessa unfolds with the intensity of a storm gathering on the horizon. This gripping drama has captivated audiences with its labyrinthine plot, where every twist feels like a betrayal and every revelation a wound. Today, we dive deeper into the enigma surrounding Doug's fate, exploring the tantalizing possibility that Marcel is weaving a web of lies, that Doug is not dead, and that the truth is far more sinister than anyone dares to imagine. Buckle up as we unravel the threads of this intricate tale, examining the motives, the clues, and the tantalizing what-ifs that keep us glued to the edge of our seats. The crash that shook the narrative. The pivotal moment in Beyond the Gates that sets tongues wagging and hearts racing is the catastrophic car accident that supposedly claimed Doug's life. Picture the scene, a lonely stretch of highway, cloaked in the inky darkness of a moonless night. Doug, alone in his sleek black sedan, speeds along the winding road, the hum of the engine a deceptive lullaby. The air is thick with the scent of pine and asphalt, the kind of night where the world feels both infinite and claustrophobic. Then, in a heartbeat, everything changes. The car veers off the road, its tires screeching in protest as it collides with an ancient oak tree, the impact reverberating like a gunshot through the stillness. Flames erupt, licking hungrily at the wreckage, transforming the vehicle into a fiery inferno. Amid the debris, investigators find a shattered bottle of whiskey, its amber contents seeping into the scorched earth, a damning clue that paints Doug as a reckless drunk who met a tragic but self-inflicted end. But is that the whole story? The bottle of alcohol, so conveniently discovered, raises more questions than it answers. Was Doug truly drinking, or was the bottle planted to cast doubt on his character? The accident feels too neat, too perfectly staged to be a mere twist of fate. Doug, we know, was a man entangled in a web of dangerous connections. His wife Vanessa's secrets, Joey's predatory influence, and Marcel's shadowy machinations. Could this fiery crash be the work of someone pulling strings behind the scenes, orchestrating a tragedy to eliminate a troublesome player in their game? The audience is left to wonder, was Doug's death an accident, or a meticulously crafted illusion? The players in the game. To understand the stakes, we must first dissect the characters at the heart of this drama. Doug, the ill-fated protagonist, is no saint. A man of contradictions, he is both charming and flawed, a husband whose love for Vanessa is tainted by his descent into gambling, a vice that has drawn him into the orbit of Joey's casino, a glittering den of temptation and ruin. Doug's addiction is no secret, least of all to Vanessa, whose weary eyes betray the weight of loving a man who bets their future on the turn of a card. Yet, despite his flaws, Doug is not a man who would easily surrender to despair. His resolve, his quiet strength, makes the idea of him drunkenly careening into a tree feel off. Could there be more to his story than the narrative we've been fed? Joey, on the other hand, is the quintessential predator, a man who thrives in the shadows of others' weaknesses. His casino is a gilded cage, luring men like Doug into its grasp with promises of fortune and escape. Joey's interest in Vanessa is no secret, his lingering glances and calculated charms suggest a man who sees her not just as a prize but as a means to an end. With Doug out of the picture, Joey believes the path to Vanessa's heart, and perhaps her wealth, is clear. His smug confidence is palpable, but is it justified? Does Joey know something the audience doesn't, or is he, too, a pawn in a larger scheme? Then there's Marcel, the enigmatic figure whose motives are as murky as a fog-choked swamp. Marcel is the wild card, the man who seems to know more than he lets on. Rumors swirl that he played a role in Doug's downward spiral, perhaps supplying the alcohol that fueled his supposed recklessness. But what if Marcel's role is even darker? What if he's not just a catalyst but a mastermind, spinning a tale of Doug's death to manipulate Joey and Vanessa for his own ends? The possibility that Marcel is lying, that Doug is alive and hidden somewhere in the shadows, sends shivers down the spine. If true, it would turn the entire narrative of Beyond the Gates on its head, transforming a story of tragedy into one of deception and survival. The conspiracy unraveled. Let's entertain the electrifying possibility that Doug is not dead. Imagine, for a moment, that the car accident was a ruse, a carefully staged performance designed to make the world believe Doug had met his end. The burning wreckage, the shattered bottle, the absence of a body too charred to identify, all of it could be part of an elaborate charade. But why? And who stands to gain? One theory is that Marcel is the architect of this deception. Perhaps he saw Doug as a threat, not just to Joey's plans but to his own. Marcel's influence over Doug's descent into addiction suggests a man who knows how to exploit vulnerabilities. What if he orchestrated the crash, ensuring Doug's disappearance while planting evidence to make it seem like an accident? The bottle of whiskey could be a prop, a red herring to distract from the truth. Marcel might have spirited Doug away, keeping him alive but hidden, perhaps as leverage in a larger scheme. The question is, what does Marcel want? Is he playing Joey and Vanessa against each other, or is there a grander prize he's after? Alternatively, could Doug himself be complicit in the deception? Perhaps, realizing the danger he was in. Caught between Joey's predatory ambitions and his own crumbling life, he chose to vanish. Faking his death would give him a chance to start anew, to escape the debts and betrayals that haunted him. But if Doug is alive, where is he? Is he lurking in the shadows, watching as Joey tightens his grip on Vanessa? Is he plotting his return, biding his time until the moment is right to strike back? The thought of Doug as a ghost, a man erased from the world yet still pulling its strings, is both thrilling and terrifying. Vanessa, too, cannot be overlooked. Her role in this drama is complex, a woman torn between love, betrayal, and survival. She knows of Doug's gambling, knows the toll it has taken on their marriage. But does she suspect foul play in his death? Her interactions with Joey are laced with tension, a dance of attraction and distrust. If Doug is alive, Vanessa might be the key to unraveling the truth. Her quiet strength, her unspoken doubts, suggest a woman who sees more than she lets on. Could she be playing her own game, pretending to mourn while secretly searching for her husband? Or is she, like Joey, a victim of Marcel's lies? The stakes and the suspense. The beauty of Beyond the Gates lies in its ability to keep us guessing, to make us question every motive and every truth. If Doug is alive, the implications are staggering. For Joey, it means his carefully laid plans could crumble. He believes he's won, that Vanessa is his for the taking. But a living Doug changes everything. A husband returned from the grave could expose Joey's machinations, threaten his empire, and reclaim Vanessa's heart. The tension between Joey's arrogance and the possibility of his downfall is electric, a ticking time bomb that could detonate at any moment. For Vanessa, Doug's survival would be both a blessing and a curse. Her love for him is undeniable, but so is the pain of his betrayal through gambling. If he's alive, she faces an impossible choice: forgive the man who broke her trust or turn her back on him for a future with Joey, a man who may be more dangerous than she realizes. The emotional weight of her decision would be a cornerstone of the story, a heart-wrenching exploration of love, loyalty, and redemption. And for Marcel, the stakes are highest of all. If he's lying about Doug's death, he's playing a dangerous game. Keeping a man like Doug hidden requires resources, cunning, and nerve. One misstep, one slip of the tongue, and his house of cards could collapse. Marcel's motives remain the greatest mystery. Does he seek power, revenge, or something else entirely? His enigmatic presence looms over the narrative, a puppeteer whose strings are invisible yet undeniable. The clues and the questions. The clues scattered throughout Beyond the Gates fuel our speculation. The bottle of whiskey, for instance, feels too convenient, a prop straight out of a noir thriller. Why was it intact enough to be identified amidst a fiery crash? And why was Doug alone on that desolate highway, with no witnesses to corroborate the story? The absence of a definitive body, burned beyond recognition, we're told, leaves room for doubt. In a show as meticulous as this, every detail matters, and these inconsistencies scream of a larger truth waiting to be uncovered. Then there's Marcel's behavior. His cryptic comments, his knowing smirks, suggest a man who holds all the cards. In one episode, he tells Joey, "You don't need to worry about Doug anymore," his tone laced with something that could be reassurance or menace. Is he taunting Joey, hinting at a truth only he knows? And what of Vanessa's reaction to Doug's death? Her grief feels genuine, but there's a flicker in her eyes, a moment of hesitation that suggests she's not entirely convinced. These subtle cues, woven into the fabric of the show, keep us questioning, keep us hungry for answers. The dramatic possibilities. If Doug is alive, the narrative possibilities are endless. Imagine a climactic scene where he steps out of the shadows, his face gaunt but his eyes blazing with resolve. The reunion with Vanessa would be a masterclass in emotional storytelling, tears, accusations, and the raw, messy truth of their love laid bare. Joey's reaction would be equally explosive, his carefully constructed world crumbling as he realizes he's been outplayed. And Marcel, the puppet master, would face the consequences of his lies, his fate hanging in the balance as the truth comes to light. Alternatively, the show could take a darker turn. Perhaps Doug is alive but broken, a shadow of his former self, hidden away in some dingy safehouse by Marcel's design. His return could be less a triumph than a tragedy, a man too far gone to reclaim his life. Or maybe the truth is even more twisted, perhaps Doug was never in the car at all, and the crash was a cover for something far more sinister, like a kidnapping or a betrayal that runs deeper than we can imagine. Why it matters. The question of Doug's fate is more than just a plot twist, it's the beating heart of Beyond the Gates. This is a story about trust, about the lies we tell ourselves and each other to survive. It's about the cost of ambition, the weight of love, and the shadows that linger when the truth is obscured. Whether Doug is dead or alive, the journey to uncover the truth is what keeps us hooked, what makes us care. Every glance, every whispered secret, every unanswered question pulls us deeper into this world, where nothing is as it seems and everyone has something to hide. The verdict. So, is Marcel lying? Is Doug alive, biding his time in the shadows? The evidence is tantalizing but inconclusive, a puzzle that invites us to speculate and theorize. The bottle of whiskey, the staged crash, Marcel's cryptic demeanor, all point to a truth that's just out of reach. Yet, that's the magic of Beyond the Gates. It doesn't hand us answers on a silver platter, it dares us to question, to dig, to imagine. Whether Doug's survival is a reality or a fantasy, the journey to find out is a roller coaster of emotion and intrigue, a testament to the power of storytelling to captivate and confound. As we await the next episode, one thing is certain, Beyond the Gates is a masterclass in suspense, a labyrinth of lies where every turn reveals a new possibility. Will Doug return to reclaim his life? Will Joey's empire crumble under the weight of his own hubris? Will Vanessa find the strength to uncover the truth? And will Marcel's secrets finally see the light of day? Only time will tell, but one thing is clear, in this game of deception, no one emerges unscathed. So, what do you think? Is Doug alive, or is his death the final nail in a coffin of betrayal? Share your theories, your hopes, your fears. In the world of Beyond the Gates, the truth is out there, somewhere beyond the flames, beyond the lies, beyond the gates.